Ronaldinho is coming back at 46, but nobody knows why Ronaldinho has been retired for years. So why is a football club preparing a shirt for him at 46? Even stranger, broadcasters are already being invited to compete for the rights to show his return. This isn't a tribute match. Ronaldinho is actually expected to step onto the pitch again. But there's one detail about this comeback that makes the entire story even more unexpected. Ronaldinho walked away from professional football years ago after building one of the greatest careers the sport has ever seen. World Cup winner, Ballon d'Or winner, Champions League winner, Barcelona legend, and one of the most entertaining players football has ever produced. For years, his football career appeared to be finished. Then something happened that nobody expected. Ronaldinho became connected with Ravenna FC in Italy. Ravenna are competing in Serie C, the third tier of Italian football, and the club's project includes Ronaldinho making a playing appearance. At first, it sounded almost impossible. A 46-year-old Ronaldinho returning to professional football. But the club made the announcement, and the story quickly became real. Ronaldinho isn't returning because he wants to rebuild his career. He isn't chasing another Ballon d'Or. He isn't trying to prove that he can still dominate defenders for an entire season. This is something much more unusual. He is expected to play at least one match as part of the Ravenna project. And suddenly, a club that normally wouldn't attract worldwide attention became one of the biggest football stories of the summer. Because there is only one Ronaldinho. The man who made the Elastico famous. The player who could control a ball while barely looking at it. The footballer who smiled while defenders desperately tried to figure out what he was going to do next. Now imagine that player walking into a Serie C dressing room at 46. Young players who grew up watching Ronaldinho on television could potentially find themselves sharing a dressing room with him. For some of them, he was a childhood hero. Now he could become their teammate. But the story gets even crazier. Ravenna has invited broadcasters, media agencies and streaming platforms to bid for the rights to show Ronaldinho's comeback match. That means companies are interested in paying for the opportunity to broadcast a single appearance by a retired 46-year-old football legend. And that tells you exactly how powerful Ronaldinho's name still is. The comeback is expected around August 20th, during a special event connected with Ravenna and Marina di Ravenna. The exact circumstances surrounding his appearance are part of the excitement. Because nobody expects Ronaldinho to suddenly play an entire Serie C season. This isn't about returning to his physical peak. It's about creating a moment. And Ronaldinho knows how to create moments. He spent his entire career doing it. At Barcelona, he didn't just play football. He turned matches into entertainment. Defenders knew what was coming, but they still couldn't stop it. He could beat a player with a simple change of direction. He could send the ball over someone's head. He could produce a no-look pass that made thousands of people jump out of their seats. And then there was the smile. That famous smile became part of his identity. Ronaldinho made football look like something you played because you loved it. That's why his return means more than just a few minutes of football. For millions of fans, it is a chance to see a piece of their childhood come back. And Ronaldinho's timing is interesting. Because while he's preparing to return to the pitch, he is also becoming involved in the business side of sport. A recent report says Ronaldinho has entered the race to take control of AS Monaco's basketball team. His proposal is reportedly backed by Clayton Sport, an investment fund based in Andorra. The project would involve significant financial commitments, including addressing a reported EuroLeague debt and providing additional funding for the club. If the deal happens, Ronaldinho would be moving from being the superstar on the pitch to becoming part of the ownership side of professional sport. And that could be the beginning of a completely different Ronaldinho. The player who once controlled matches with his feet could eventually be involved in controlling a sports organization from the boardroom. But before that happens, football fans have one thing on their minds. The comeback. Because there is something almost surreal about seeing Ronaldinho prepare to play again at 46. Most footballers disappear from the professional game and never return. Their final match becomes their final memory. But Ronaldinho's story is different. He's returning when almost everyone thought that chapter had been closed. And there is a strange question surrounding it. What will happen when Ronaldinho touches the ball again? Will he still attempt the skills that made him famous? Will he try a free kick? Will he produce one of those passes that made defenders freeze? Or will we simply see an older Ronaldinho enjoying the game one more time? Whatever happens, the moment itself could become unforgettable. Because this isn't a young player trying to make his name. This is a legend who has nothing left to prove. Ronaldinho has already won the biggest trophies. He has already played in the biggest stadiums. He has already stood on the biggest stages. He has already inspired an entire generation. So he doesn't need this comeback. He simply wants another connection with the game that made him a global icon. And that's why Ravenna's decision has created so much attention. The club isn't just bringing in a former footballer. It's bringing in a name that still has the power to make people stop scrolling. A name that can make broadcasters compete. A name that can turn a Serie C event into an international story. Ronaldinho, at 46, back on a football pitch. The same man who once made the world fall in love with football is preparing to give fans another memory. And when that moment finally arrives, nobody will be asking whether he can still run like he did at Barcelona. They'll be asking one question. Does Ronaldinho still have the magic? Because if he produces even one moment that looks like the old Ronaldinho, the internet is going to explode. And that's exactly why everyone is waiting for his return.